Are you ready for the big dance tonight?
Yes.
The crystal chandeliers of the grand ballroom cast dancing shadows across the marble floor as Manhattan's elite gathered for the annual Children's Hospital Foundation Gala. Alexander Morrison adjusted his black bow tie and checked his watch nervously. At 36, he had built one of the most successful tech companies on the East Coast, but tonight he felt more anxious than he had during any boardroom presentation. The source of his nervousness was not the million-dollar donors or potential investors in the room. It was his 4-year-old daughter Isabella, who sat beside him in her pink tulle dress, her small legs swinging from the adult-sized chair. Since his wife Maria had passed away from cancer 18 months ago, Alexander had struggled to balance his demanding career with single parenthood. Tonight's gala was particularly important for business reasons, but Alexander had no one to watch Isabella. His regular nanny was ill, and family lived too far away. Desperate for a solution, he had contacted a reputable companion service, requesting someone who could pose as his date for the evening, while also helping to care for Isabella. The arrangement felt uncomfortable to Alexander, but he needed to maintain his professional image while ensuring his daughter was supervised and entertained during the lengthy formal dinner. He had specifically requested someone with experience around children, emphasizing that this was purely a professional arrangement for one evening. When Sophia Elena walked into the ballroom, Alexander felt his breath catch. At 28, she carried herself with natural elegance that made her seem perfectly at home among the wealthy patrons. Her navy blue gown was tasteful but stunning, and her warm smile immediately put both Alexander and Isabella at ease. But what struck Alexander most was how Sophia interacted with his daughter. Instead of the polite but distant manner he had expected, Sophia knelt down to Isabella's level and spoke to her with genuine interest and warmth. "What a beautiful dress you have," Sophia said to Isabella. "I love the sparkles on the skirt. Did you pick it out yourself?" Isabella nodded shyly, then surprised her father by taking Sophia's hand without hesitation. "Daddy says this is a very important party, and I have to use my best manners." "Well, I think your manners are already perfect," Sophia replied with a gentle laugh. "And I love parties. Maybe we can have some fun together tonight." As the evening progressed, Alexander watched in amazement as Sophia seamlessly balanced her role as his companion with genuine care for Isabella. During the cocktail hour, she engaged in sophisticated conversations with his business associates, while simultaneously ensuring Isabella had appropriate snacks and keeping her entertained with quiet games. When dinner was served, Sophia helped Isabella with her meal without making her feel childish, cutting her food into manageable pieces and engaging her in whispered conversations that kept her happily occupied during the lengthy speeches. But it was during the auction portion of the evening that Alexander truly saw Sophia's character. Isabella had grown tired and was becoming restless despite Sophia's best efforts. Rather than showing frustration or asking Alexander to handle the situation, Sophia quietly asked if she could take Isabella for a walk around the hotel's elegant lobby. "Would you like to see the pretty flowers in the hallway?" Sophia whispered to Isabella. "We can count them together." Alexander watched through the ballroom's glass doors as Sophia and Isabella walked hand in hand through the marble corridors. Sophia pointed out architectural details, encouraged Isabella to smell the floral arrangements, and even taught her a simple counting game using the decorative elements they encountered. When they returned 20 minutes later, Isabella was refreshed and happy, and Sophia had somehow managed to keep both their formal attire pristine despite the impromptu exploration. "Miss Sophia taught me that those big columns are called something special," Isabella announced to her father with excitement, "and she knows why the flowers smell so pretty." Alexander felt something shift in his chest as he watched his daughter's genuine happiness. For the first time since Maria's death, Isabella seemed completely comfortable and joyful with another adult woman. The sight filled him with both gratitude and an unexpected longing. As the evening wound down, Isabella's energy finally faded, and she curled up against Sophia's side, her small head resting on Sophia's arm. Sophia adjusted her position to make Isabella more comfortable, gently stroking the child's hair as she dozed. "She is exhausted," Alexander said quietly. "I should probably take her home." "She has been such a good girl tonight," Sophia replied, softly, looking down at Isabella with genuine affection. "You should be very proud. She is sweet, intelligent, and incredibly well-behaved." Alexander felt his throat tighten with emotion. "She likes you very much. That is not something that happens often since her mother passed away." Sophia's expression, filled with understanding and compassion. "I can see how much you love her. She is lucky to have a father who cares so deeply about her well-being." As they prepared to leave, Isabella stirred awake and looked up at Sophia with sleepy eyes. "Miss Sophia," she said in her small, earnest voice, "can you stay forever?" The innocent question hung in the air, carrying more weight than a 4-year-old could possibly understand. Alexander felt his heart clench as he saw the hope in his daughter's eyes and the gentle sadness in Sophia's. "Oh, sweetheart," Sophia said tenderly, "I had such a wonderful time with you tonight. You made this party very special for me." She looked up at Alexander, something unspoken passing between them. The professional arrangement they had started with had somehow evolved into something much more meaningful, at least for Isabella. In the car on the way home, Isabella chattered excitedly about her evening with Miss Sophia, recounting every detail of their conversations and adventures. Alexander listened with growing realization that his daughter had formed a genuine attachment to someone who had been hired to fill a temporary role. That night, as he tucked Isabella into bed, she looked up at him with serious eyes. "Daddy, is Miss Sophia going to be my friend?" Alexander struggled with how to answer. The professional arrangement was supposed to end with the evening, but seeing his daughter's happiness and genuine connection with Sophia had changed something fundamental in his understanding of what his family needed. "Would you like her to be your friend?" He asked carefully. Isabella nodded emphatically. "She is nice to me like Mommy was nice, and she makes you smile." Over the following days, Alexander found himself thinking constantly about Sophia and the way she had interacted with both him and Isabella. Her warmth had been genuine, not performed. Her care for Isabella had gone far beyond professional obligation. After much internal debate, Alexander made a decision that surprised even himself. He contacted Sophia, not through the service that had arranged their initial meeting, but directly. "I know our arrangement was for one evening," he said when they met for coffee, "but I want to ask you something different. Isabella has not stopped talking about you, and I have not stopped thinking about how natural and right it felt, the three of us together." Sophia listened quietly, her expression thoughtful. "I am not asking for another professional arrangement," Alexander continued. "I am asking if you would be interested in getting to know us better, as yourself, not as someone hired to play a role." He paused, then added with vulnerability that few people ever saw from the successful CEO, "Isabella needs stability and genuine affection in her life, and I'm beginning to think that maybe I do too." Sophia was quiet for a long moment, then smiled with the same warmth that had captivated both father and daughter. "I would like that very much," she said. "But I want you to know that what I felt that night was real. Isabella is an extraordinary child, and you are a devoted father. If we do this, it will be because I genuinely care about both of you, not because of any arrangement." 6 months later, Sophia had become a regular and cherished part of their lives. What had begun as a business transaction had evolved into something neither Alexander nor Sophia had expected. A genuine relationship built on mutual respect, shared values, and deep affection for a little girl who had simply asked if someone kind could stay forever. Isabella's innocent question had revealed a truth that Alexander had been too afraid to acknowledge, that love often comes disguised as temporary solutions, and sometimes the heart finds exactly what it needs in the most unexpected circumstances. The evening that was supposed to be about maintaining professional appearances had instead shown Alexander that the most important business of his life was creating a family filled with genuine love and happiness. And sometimes, the best investments are the ones you never planned to make.